All right, what's up, everybody? I'm here with my great friend Tiago. Tiago and we connected a few months back. I think he found Different Hunger through some Facebook ads, and we started working together. And he has an amazing story. He's a really genuine guy that has a big heart, and he's been able to integrate that into his agency in a very cool way, which we'll talk about shortly. But yeah, he's been able to, he's felt the pain of the freelancer agency trap that so many of us have felt. But he's also managed to overcome a lot of those challenges. And I wanted to bring him on to share his story today, to provide some wisdom and guidance. And Tiago, thank you for joining me.
Awesome. Great to be here, brother.
Yeah, dude. So, Tiago, let's rewind a little bit. I mean, tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, and what you do.
Sure. I'm a designer, and long story short, I always use design to solve problems that made more sense for me and for the world. So that's basically, initially I focused on the most vulnerable people, designing a healthcare insurance for low-income families in Colombia, to designing an educational program for indigenous people in Nicaragua, understanding the sanitation around education in India, and little by little I started migrating into the digital realm, and I was freelancing, I was doing that on and off, but in 2018, right at the beginning, I started designing an app for startups a Portuguese startup where I'm from, and it was a crowd lending platform for sustainable projects. So it's called GoParity.com. It's pretty cool. If you guys want to see the design, you can also go there and check it out. Anyway, so working with impact startups, and then I realized my time is finite. I only have a certain amount of hours in my lifetime. How can I be the most effective? Because I want to contribute as much as I can to that impact. And the way to do that was create a structure around this idea. That's how Give a Damn is born. Give a Damn is a studio, design and growth studio, and what we're doing is helping out those impact startups to, make more revenue, and by making more revenue, they're able to create more impact in the world.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and it's really great that you're able to be working on passion projects and really enjoying your work. And I know also part of that is sometimes we have to figure out business-wise, all right, how do we actually make ends meet? How do we make sure income's coming in? How do we set up a business that allows us to have that freedom, right? So why don't you just tell us a little bit about, where you were at a few months back, and, what some of the challenges were that you were facing as, a freelancer or a budding agency owner?
Yeah. So I'm going to share. I'm going to state upfront that I don't have any kids. I don't have any mortgage, so I don't and any student loan. unfortunately most of the US students do. Um, so, take that in consideration. Now, that said, my mindset has always been in like, if you want to do something, then, just go for it 100% and not like doing what a lot of people recommend, like this side gig, right? The side gig culture. Um, so I dove in like com- completely to the freelance, and I was for the first time in my life struggling pretty much financially. I I've always been employed by other people and always had like good salaries. So I honestly felt grateful going through that scarcity mindset. I realized that also going through those rough times were in a way motivation for me to not only obviously like, empathize with people that also have those kind of economic problems, but as well going like feeling that I want to like what do I want to accomplish and those goals, right? So yeah, when I was freelancing, I felt like I was a lot in the nitty gritty. Is that how you say it? Like the details. And I really wanted to focus more on the business side, and I knew that that was what I had to do if I wanted to create that impact, right? And that's when I came across you guys, um, and you spoke to me. The everything that Different Hunger was putting out there, communication was really spot on what I was in a way maybe even unconsciously like feeling or thinking, and you guys were articulating it. So that was definitely a relief in a way when I saw you guys, and I don't know if you remember, Matt, but I was all over the place, like on all communication channels. I was like harassing you guys. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I mean, what did you feel like was, um, you said maybe we spoke to like some unconscious beliefs. Yeah, tell us a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what you meant by that. I'm curious.
Um, yeah. So unconscious belief was very much about not. I always get it wrong, just for the sake of playing. I'm gonna try it. Um, I always felt that you you work to live and not live to work. Um, so so I think I got it right this
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm all
Oh, audio went out. Hmm.
check, check, mic check.
Yep, all
Can you hear
good.
me?
Yep, sorry.
I can't hear you though, Matt.
You can't hear me? No?
No.
Hello,
Oh
hello.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For some reason, yeah. Oh, we're on.
Okay.
For some reason, I muted my sound. I don't know how that's possible, but anyway.
Okay.
Um, yeah, just trying to figure out what's the most meaningful thing I can do with my life, and definitely that one is serving. I want to be at the service of people and beings and planet, and that's what makes me feel good. I have the goosebumps just for for saying it. And then the other thing that I had very clearly articulated was that I didn't want to spend a lot of hours just focusing on work. I also had to have like a balance, and I'm the kind of person, and I think you are too, and we all in this community are, that like give everything to what we are passionate about, um, and and like that's even more the case. It's even more needed to have like to create that space where you can like be can have like a peace of mind, and can, you know, explore other means like arts and literature and whatnot, to grow as a human being, and in the end to be able to serve people and planet in a better way. So time was also a very important factor.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, totally, you said it right. Like, it's all about being conscious about how we're working in order to create a better life, instead of just, blindly working and blindly growing and blindly chasing status without really asking why, right? So, can you tell us a little bit about, your journey getting started? Because I know it wasn't one of those like overnight successes, right? It definitely took some
Yeah.
work. And, we talked a little bit throughout that time where, you were a little bit, worried and stressed and worried about money and all those things, which is totally normal. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about how things were when you were getting started, and just talk us through that journey a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that, because sometimes it does feel like it's super easy, and the reality is that, you know, I mean, sometimes people get it right at the first time, and which was not my case. So um, at first, when I say we, is I have also a co-founder that helped me out with this whole process. His name is Brandon. Kudos to him. He's an amazing human being, and we're super aligned on everything that we do. So I'm very grateful for that. Also for having like an accountability partner in a way. I think that was very helpful. I know myself, and I know at the beginning it wasn't easy. I think because of that as well, because I was kind of alone. And yeah, the main point was, and the main struggle was that we were not focusing, narrowing enough the the audience, the target. We were basically going for impact startups as a whole group, and obviously there's impact startups in every kind of sector, you know, from construction to nutrition to um, plastic waste management. And so yeah, with some research and talking to people, like one of the things that was very effective in our pivoting was and narrowing down was conversations that we were having with those startups, and even like investors, and you know, extra reading. Um, there's a resource that's amazing. It's called the Project Drawdown. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Matt. It's super good. It's basically a research project, um, global scale, and they mapped out like what are the top 100 solutions to contribute to fight climate catastrophe, like to how do we go into reducing all those emissions, and so yeah, combining all of that information, we realized that we're focusing on first one specific niche, and that's ag tech and food tech. So food tech impact startups, all these startups that are transforming um, you know food that used to be like meat, they're doing plant-based stuff, and also like new technologies around agriculture as well. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Got it. So yeah, I mean, tell us, like what your day looked like when you were targeting and trying to generate calls and interest and clients with a very wide, non-focused approach. You told me you're offering like you're saying you're doing systems, you're doing design, you're doing lead gen for this wide market, right? So
Right.
what what did your day look like then versus what does it look like now? Now that you've gotten some traction, and talk us through that sort of transition.
Yep. The it So it looked like reaching out to anybody that was in the impact field. So there was a lot of you know messaging, emails, and not a lot of return. So now with perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Because you're basically sending out messages, communications that might not necessarily resonate with the person that you're reaching out to. So yeah, I would say a lot of um, learning time. I'm not saying like wasted time. It's a lot of learning time that we got from it, and now it looks much more of structured campaign. And yep, you're still there. Okay, it looks like structured campaigns with specific communications, specific keywords, buzzwords that resonate with the people that we're reaching out to. So um, I would say the approach is much more strategic. Um, it's also because of that we've been able to automate it, automate part of the outreach, and and through our own process, we realized like, hey, this is what feels like we're doing something, feels like we're doing it right. Let's also sell that to potential leads, and that's what we started doing. So yeah, we're doing like we're still, this is ongoing, right? So we're still learning, still in the process. There's not success. I don't think there's any like success, specific success. It's basically the journey. The success is the learnings, and yeah, we're doing lead gen for those impact startups in food tech and ag tech. Yep. Any questions?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I still remember, right? You jumped on one of the group calls, and you were pretty perplexed. You're kind of like, all right, I'm doing a lot of work, but I'm not really getting results or seeing results. And then I talked to you a few weeks later, and you're like, boom, I got 2 new clients. 2K plus monthly retainers. That was shortly after we talked about narrowing down the offer and the focus and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, for those of us listening that are like, oh God, I've been working so hard for so long, I'm not seeing any results. And like, that's a very common freelance agency position to be in. But I mean, what do you attribute? And look, I mean, you're working with how many clients now? 2 or 3 monthly retainers, right?
Yeah, we now we're back into one because of something that we were talking about the other day, like the client not being um, like not doing that qualifying process.
Right.
Um, and yeah, it's a learning journey. So we're at one, and now you go ahead. Your question.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 0 to 3, like 3 to 4, 4 to 5, right? Like it's just stacking one after another. But
Mm-hmm.
tell us,
Yeah.
what do you attribute that seemingly overnight or over week success to, where you go from a few months or weeks of not seeing results to getting validation that what you're doing is actually starting to generate results?
Right. Two things. I would say the first would be network, like your immediate connections around you, and then clarity on what you're offering them. So yeah, when we went forward with these two clients, it was pretty clearly like we were doing lead gen and how we were doing it and so on. So that helped a lot on like the onboarding. Um, and I have to say also pretty good to be working with close in a way friends as well, because you get to test out and fine tune your process. So that was great too. But yeah, I do agree with you, Matt, that it does feel like now it's less it's less harder to like stack up the clients once you got the offering right.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, now, you have had a few clients, you've set up a new offer, right? So I guess you learned the lead gen strategies, implemented those, got results for yourself. And then we're like, hey, let me offer this to businesses, right? Because that's another thing they have no idea about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, what's kind of like your roadmap and focus right now for the next few months?
Would be focusing in three different niches, um, and testing out which one, like basically, um, offering the same thing, although with a different keywords and communications, and seeing which of those niches picks up better, and yeah, then once that happens, I see a lot happening, like it kind of like goes together, like other opportunities come with those. Snowball is what you call it.
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Got it. Okay. So testing out a few niches. Are you going to test one at a time or all at once?
Uh, we're three in the business, so we're going to each one of us is choosing one of those niches, and we're gonna keep testing them at once.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And yeah, I mean, what would you say to anybody that, was where you were at like a few months ago? What sort of advice would you share?
Apart from talking to you,
I mean, hey, if that's part of it, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's pretty classic, bro. Just try to find some like a company that you really like, and you're generally interested in helping them. Try to identify that niche, and see if there's like others in that space that you like to work with, and then approach them and talk to them and find out like what they need, and probably, like you told me, um, everybody needs sales, right? Everybody needs to sell. So yeah, in a way, I do think that like helping them create more sales is one of the low hanging fruits. But maybe the company you're interested in helping is doing something very specific, and they might need something different, and then you can like focus on that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So just, be genuine, help, add value, and, make an offer. Say, look, all right, if you want to grow from here to here and you're doing this, I think if you do it this way, this can boost your sales or help you grow faster or whatever it may be. But yeah, you're proof that going from selling just design to growth. And I've done that myself, and we recommend everybody do that, because even if you are selling design, you can still sell growth and ROI. But if you're only selling design, then you're in a very red ocean, lots of competition. People are just going to find somebody cheaper than you. But if you can strategically leverage your skill set in order to generate a return for the company, then like you're always going to have a business. You're always going to have clients. So, your story is proof of that. But that's just a reminder for anyone listening. Because, I started as a freelance web designer, and I saw that in reality, right? It was like, not everybody needs a website, but everybody needs to grow their company, right? Everybody needs leads, everybody needs sales. So, yeah, that's just a reminder for anyone listening. So yeah, Tiago, if anybody wants to follow along or connect with you, maybe ask you some questions, how can we connect with you?
Facebook, Tiago Diaz Miranda. I'm in the groups. Email Tiago at giveadamnstudio.com, and yeah, I'm pretty easy to get a hold on because I'm pretty also LinkedIn Tiago Diaz Miranda. I'm probably, although I'm conscious of how I use social media. I'm very much in all of them.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, and we can link to your agency, right? Giveadamnstudio.com, or what was that?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Sweet. Well, yeah, great to have you on, and I look forward to seeing, how things go over the next few months. And thanks for sharing your stories and wisdom with us. And yeah, I look forward to following the journey. So thank you, Tiago. And for anyone listening, if you enjoyed this, go ahead, subscribe, comment below. Any questions that you have for Tiago about freelancing, design, impact, startups, drop any questions that you have. And if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend, drop us a like, all that good stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in, and catch you later. Yes.